think the rotation of this is off, but we're gonna rock either way. So I'm not sure how to turn this, so I'm not sure if it's like going this way or that way. I guess we'll see either way, but yeah. Welcome to today's Starseed reading. Thank you so much for joining. Just wanted to do something, a general reading, a live reading. I miss doing lives. So wanted to bring that back to the Chanel. So we're going to start off with the tarot. I feel like that's the most insightful part or longest part of the reading. Then I'll get like angel numbers and maybe a surprise oracle at the end, depending on how the reading goes. I'm hearing like this loud thing outside. I don't have a clue what it is. That's why I had to. I don't know. It sounds like a blower, one of them blower machines. Hope y'all can hear it either way. Let's get into the reading. So, what divine wisdom do we have for Starseeds? Anyone who is coming across this video, the first card to pop out is the World card. The world is all about, everything being connected. Like I said, I think it's going this way as well. But either way, we can get this card in. So, saying the World card is all about, completion, the fulfillment, feeling like you not by, looking out to the world, I would say, like getting the judgment of the world and everyone else deciding that you are accomplished, but really just looking at yourself and saying, yes, I've accomplished something that I've desired. So that means the world to you, that energy. And it is also the number of 21. And it is depicted, I'm going to be moving my mic here. But yes, it's definitely depicted as the card of fulfillment, wholeness, fully integrating, fully feeling integrated fully within yourself. And the World card is, drawn in a reading to show you things are falling into place beautifully. And, a long journey or a time-consuming project that you have been working on is being completed. It's the celebration card of saying like, taking that deep breath, you know what I mean? And definitely realizing, looking back and realizing what you learned along the way and how much you learned. And, celebrating how you've come through your trials, your tribulations, and you can now turn the page and begin the next chapter of your life. It's definitely, like I said, it's that ending card, but the completion energy as well. And it's like that energy of like reaching a place of like cultivated knowledge, maturity, and feeling like now is the time to share your story of personal growth through, connection with others, whether that be, starting a community, teaching others to do something that you learned how to do, things of that nature. The World card in the reading indicates that you should, share the tales of your experiences so that other people can learn from you and learn from what you've been through. And this is like a The world card shows you in like a coveted place of strength and self-reliance. Because after all, you have like the power to help other people get there too. And that's one of the greatest things about the world card, or just having that energy come out, is definitely stepping away from any negative talk, realizing how much progress you've actually made, giving yourself credit for the progress that you've actually made, and that feeling of internal wholeness, not needing to, rely on what someone outside of you says or thinks about, your worthiness or anything of that nature. So, with all of these cards, I will give one self care activity. And I want to focus on the mind, because the mind is typically the place that gets you to start or stop something, right? It's the place that involves all your actions and declares your self care, deciding what you will and won't do, and things of that nature. So it's always good to have a self care maintenance for your mind. And I feel like in the world, we always get told about things you should do for your body, and sometimes even, things that people should do for their spirit, but not enough for the mind. So the self care activity for this one would be, step into like your highest self and stopping any negative self talk in its tracks. And, starting us to accept compliments from other people and being graciously a person who accepts them because you deserve it. Not pushing away any compliments from the world or even yourself. Is really about, taking and looking upon yourself and being, feeling as highly favored as you are. And that would be, a good mental thing to do, even when it's like, oh, well, yesterday I didn't do this, or blah, blah, blah. Whatever that blah, blah, blah noise is, say stop immediately. You are the director of your mind. So if you don't stop those negative thoughts in your track, they definitely will keep going. So let's get another card. How y'all feeling about Aquarius season? Oh, let me start this. I did do an Aquarius reading for any sun, moon, risings not too long ago. It was a video. I enjoyed doing that style as well. So let me know what type of readings do you prefer? Is it the live ones or the dedicated video that I did to like signs, things of that nature? I feel like I want to do both, but realistically, I have to, choose one, do one. I don't know. Either way, I feel like I enjoy them both, so I'll try to incorporate one of each a week. So choosing like a dedicated sign a week to make a video with, and then doing a live video, obviously with all this stuff. Perfect. We got a card popping out. So how about this card being 3 and another card being 3? Two different 3s popping up. I feel like 3 is the number of like, obviously what it has to do a lot with this is completion, fulfillment. So we have the world card up here. I feel like I want to turn them to the side because it's something about the orientation of how my camera is that lets me think that this is going to be a landscape size video. Either way, maybe it'll just look funny depending on how it comes out, but it doesn't matter. The reading is still the most important. So we got the Empress card here, and the Empress is all about abundance, fertility, nurturing, creativity, nurturing the most creative side of yourself as well. So this is the Empress card, which is, you got a lot of major arcana energy. And the Empress is like that energy, like I said, of, being creative, being, someone who is nurturing that creative side of yourself. Even nurturing the creative side of others too. I can definitely see that, like being your appeal, focusing on that. And, the world card is like sharing that more creative side of yourself with the world. That's the type of energy that I'm getting. And also, it's like the yes energy, like giving yourself every yes, giving yourself the energy, not denying yourself from how creative you want to be, everything of that nature. So the Empress is like a compassionate, nurturing figure in the tarot. That's why it's like the abundance, the fertility card as well. And it's really just a call to be patient with yourself, to be patient in your actions, to spend time on the things that matter to you, like self-care, whatever you find that really rejuvenates your soul, the things that you may or may not be getting paid to do at this moment. And the key words that I wanted to use is at this moment, because yes, you may not be getting paid to do it yet, but there is always so much a possibility to get paid later when you focus on that abundance, when you focus on that fertility, when you focus on that creativity. There's always that ability when you do things that you love. There's always that possibility to, have so much more come from it. So it's that energy of, if you do what you love, you never have to work a day in your life. So the things that you do, if it's something that you say that you love and you say it brings you so much nourishment, you should, here's the theory, right? You should feel so good doing it that you don't mind getting up early to do it, that you don't mind, staying up later to do it. Whatever it is, whatever works with your schedule, it shouldn't feel like a drain. It shouldn't feel like a hassle. It should feel like something that makes you thrive creatively. And if it doesn't feel like that, then you should ask yourself why, and asking yourself, does this actually bring you joy? So not to talk you out of the things that you want to do. Actually, I'm trying to talk you in to doing more of the things that you love. And if it is something that you think that you love, or something that you've been told that doing this brings you abundance, I want you to understand that anything that you do that you enjoy will bring you abundance. Even if you don't know how yet, even if you haven't figured out what everything, anything that you genuinely enjoy doing, something with the world card, that's something that brings you fulfillment, wholeness, anything that you're able to take what you've learned and integrate it into, something creative, something that nurtures you, something that's real that you can actually put to work in your life, and not just, thinking about it, or not just theorizing about, the things that make you happy, and learning about what can make you happy. Just giving yourself, action over learning. Action is just so addicting sometimes, to consume knowledge, or to, consume things that you think will help you, which I'm not saying that they won't, but it's more addictive to, just sit on the sideline and kind of watch people and, gain inspiration, even if you will, than it is for you sometimes to act on what you know you should be doing. So this is the call to action. Not about rushing the process, because the Empress also speaks to, that abundance, the grace and the beauty, the simpleness, the slowness, and how, the best things come to you naturally and are fertile. Those things like that, that simpleness, that slowness, and still being able to, like a seed, it looks very simple on the outside, but on the inside, it's very intricate. And then once it is added to soil, it is very detailed, like a complex process. We may not think of it, an acorn or a seed, as anything, to look at in the outside stages, but when it grows into a plant, a flower, a tree, it's magnificent. It's that up level to say a revel to marvel at. You know what I mean? It's so indescribably amazing and out there that you're like, wow, something so simple got all of this majestic beauty. And it's like, yes, that's what I feel like life is all about, even. So, and also the tarot sometimes comes from, as a reminder to reconnect mindfully with those qualities, the qualities of abundance, beauty, simplicity, and all of those things that nurture you, you know. And the Empress is like that signal that is telling you about comfort, luxury, deep and personal fulfillment. Again, fulfillment is coming up with this card as well, because it's like, what nurtures you, what fulfills you, what do you care about, what matters to you. So, celebrate where you are now in life always, and remember to maintain like a loving and compassionate heart with the activities that you're doing on a daily basis, because those are the building blocks of your life. It feels like cliche, but it's like, I think the best things in life are some of the things that we take for granted or don't pay much attention to. So, in honor of the Empress card and also the world, I feel like this is like a great thing to do for both. So, the world mind activity is to go outside in nature and just take a note of all of the beautiful things that you experience, whether it's, a squirrel coming by your path, or, just a beautiful flower, whatever you actually notice. I've actually even seen people do like color, like choosing a specific color and then pointing out as many times, let's say go on a walk, and pointing out the times that they see that color. And I feel like that also has a lot to do with your RAS, reticular activating system, in your brain, activating that part of you, and something good to do for your mind to help you embrace the Empress's positive and graceful mindset. And also letting you see that, nature is abundant, you are abundant. And no matter how hard, anyone would try, you definitely, you don't have to think of yourself as like such a limited person, a limited creature, whatever. You know what I mean? So let's get another. I feel like all of these are going to go sideways. I love doing this part. All right, so we have this number 3. It's very heavy. I wouldn't be surprised if some angel number cards came out with a 3 on them as well. This is the 13. So we've seen the 3 pop up in different formats. Technically, this could be considered a 4 because when you add them together, but still, the 3 symbol is here either way. And the 3 is also, I've heard this. Let me know if you heard this too. It's like, looks like a pregnant woman, or just like, birth, creation. And it's pretty funny that the card that came out is the Death card. Again, a major arcana, card, which, the Death card is, the one that kind of symbolizes, not kinda, it definitely symbolizes the ending. And also with that, a new beginning is what is kind of like less talked about. But yeah, the ending comes with a new beginning when you're thinking about the Death card, just because of the transformation. Like, I can't tell you what happens directly after this life as well, but I know that you leave this form and you're definitely taking another one. So, change, rebirth. It's always good to remember that. The quote on the card says, "Remember, there's always a new beginning after the end." So, this is such a commonly misunderstood card, and this card actually heralds transformation, transitions, metamorphosis. It's like being sad that a caterpillar is turning into a butterfly. There's no reason to do that, because there's like so much more after this. Even thinking about like before you were here on earth, you had to die to whatever form you were in order to be birthed into this one, which is such a individual and great experience that when you leave this one, you can only imagine the amazingness that you're going to go on to be, which is really good. So it's like I mentioned, death is the caterpillar turning into a beautiful butterfly. And changes obviously can be uncomfortable sometimes, sure, but they can also lead to bigger and better things. So, when death shows up in a tarot reading, it's mostly about, just expecting major shifts in your life. You could be moving or going through a breakup, starting a business, or changing careers. Whatever you're doing or whatever is coming upon you, this is your signal here to just embrace the change. And you never know what the beauty, that the future is holding for you. So stay open to that. you know. And I would say a good self care activity for your mind here is to sort through your wardrobe and donate any of those unwanted clothings, like to a shelter, you know, just give them away to someone that you know may be in need, something like that, because it will be easier to obviously keep your space tidy without all these extra clothes, but you also can rest peacefully knowing that you've given to someone who is in need, which is like a win-win. I always like to, do things that push not being, like I say, even if it's just like you have a younger sibling or, you know, a kid or something, whomever you may be given to, even if it is a shelter, think about letting these things go lovingly and in peace, and not needing anything else to take up that space of what was once there. But obviously things are going to come again. That's how the ebb and tides flow. So, being welcome to, the new things that you may discover that you actually want in your closet. And, that sort of blessing cannot be denied. So I definitely want to get to, now that I've got these 3 cards, I feel like 3 cards is enough for the tarot. All major arcana with the 3 somewhere here. That's crazy to me. Let's get an angel number card. Or cards. We'll see. Just to see what other angels numbers you can expect. Move these. So just be thinking about, what are you opening to right now? What abundance are you opening to? What transformations do you feel coming? What things do you feel have completed in your life? Like things that you're like, oh, I don't need to go back to this, but I would love to start learning about this. Or I've learned enough about this and now I'm ready to start doing this, right? How can you really integrate the things that you've already learned about in your life and feel that completion, that wholeness? So yeah, 4, 1, 3. It's crazy. The 4th card has some 3 energy. So 4, 1, 3 is like synergy. The card of synergy. Let's try to get this to fit in. Synergy. Okay. Like I want to get 2 more. And then I'll give the meanings of all of them. But just meditating on what these cards could mean to you. What's, something that's bringing energy, that synergy into your life. Okay, perseverance, 202, perseverance. Let's do one more. Okay, so that 3 energy, something is very much popping up about support right now, too. 333 support. So let's get into these meanings. I love this book as well. Just the energy that really talks all about the meaning of these cards and why they're so important. All of that. But the synergy card just gives me personally camaraderie between yourselves. Like, not just camaraderie with other people, or camaraderie between your friends and all of that. That's obviously very necessary. But synergy is like all of your selves merging, past self, future self, current self, realizing that they may be different but necessary and needed in whatever ways. The changes that you've been through are always necessary and needed. And also, that synergy is about, creating something greater for yourself. So it may be a support network and community growth, which I talked about with the world card. It's kind of crazy that came out then, but the, world card is like that energy of completion, creating something and building something of your own, based off of what you learned. And I feel like no one should be scared to be like, oh, well, I am going into this space but I don't want to do it. Everyone has done it before. And the person that I learned from was such a great teacher that da 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 da. Like there's some things that yes, you can acknowledge that you learned from a great teacher, but also just realizing that all of the things that you've learned, maybe things that feel like inconsequential at this time, or things that you have put up and are no longer with. That's what I said about your past self, your future self, current self, all of that. It's like you are uniquely you, and no one else has all of the learning experiences. Even if you did learn the same things as them, you may have learned, two other things that they didn't. So you can connect it in a different way, or just your community and the way that you grew up, all of that colors your life experiences and the way that you see things in life differently. So, definitely feeling like you're able to make deeper connections just depending on who you are and what you have learned, right? So it's also the affirmation with this one is it will work out better than I could have ever imagined. So I feel like even when it comes to us learning on like an individual basis, our knowledge of who we are, who we could be, all of that is kind of pinched into a small thing, and it's not a bad thing. Obviously, I recommend that we all spend time using our imagination to imagine a greater life for ourselves. It's really one of our greatest tools that we could use in business, in life, in love, anything that you can do. Imagine a higher version of yourself. Imagine, the best version of yourself. And then also have that affirmation still of it will work out better than I could have ever imagined, because your imagination is coming from a screen of things that you have experienced or seen other people experience. So you actually don't know the highest that things can actually work out for you, which is a good thing. So, recognizing that everything is a cycle and that light and shadow, day and night, good and bad, all of that is a balance. And no one is just one thing. We're not lone islands. We all have these networks, these connections, and all of that. So using that is your greatest strength. Your individuality is your greatest strength. And creation begins with an idea, but it becomes infinitely more beautiful when you're collaborating, and I wouldn't even say just like collaborating with other people, but using all of the things that you learned in other things and bringing it to one sector of your life, and not segmenting yourself off. I know that's like a natural thing that we do. Like when you go to work, you're the person there. When you're at home, and when you're at school, all of these require and pull different things out of us. So I'm not, I recognized that when I was a kid, so I'm probably not telling you anything new that you don't know. But yes, when you're with your friends, when you're with your family, all of these people, they can experience different versions of you. So this is just a sign to, have strengthened bonds within yourself, and, even forging new connections, or, standing by the people that you've already forged connections with. Very powerful at this time. Now we can move down to the 202, which is that card that, is the plumbing the depths of your soul card. Is the looking to yourself, trusting yourself, trusting that you can achieve your biggest dreams. I was just talking about using your imagination, so that's definitely going to be big at this time. It's the unparalleled sense of determination and even optimism and the faith of hard things. So, trusting, it's like that death card, trusting that, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what change is occurring, but I know that I'm going to come out better. I'm going to come out on the better end of things. I'm going to, stay the course. And your inner self, your very soul is strong enough to weather any storm or any adversity that may arise. So this is definitely a call to have faith in yourself and to have faith in your abilities, and letting you know you're not destined for mundanity. You're stepping into your power, and that power might require you to do scary things rather than the easy thing. Like I said before about, consuming, is very easy for us to consume content, but the scarier thing it may be, to create content, to create your community, to create all of these things. That's why I'm very big on people, creating, even if it's multiple things at the same time, not to overwhelm yourself, even though a little overwhelm would be good. Because, scary things aren't always bad. They can actually push you. Doing the things that you find scary can actually push you into, stepping into your power and taking the easy way out, in a way that taking the easy way out doesn't require, right? So, doing the hard things in life is okay. And that's what life is all about: learning, testing new waters, getting out of your comfort zone, being scared, and entering that cosmic zone. So you can even tell yourself, your affirmation here is like, every problem I encounter has a solution. So, there's no need to ever be afraid, not figuring something out, of being scared of how things will turn out, because you can always tell yourself that, hey, everything that I incur is for a reason, and every problem that I run into has a solution. So let's go ahead and get into the 333, which is the support card, right? And the support card is all about expressing yourself and the support that you can receive when you express yourself. So the support that you receive from the divine, higher, spiritual side, and also the support that you'll get on the physical side when people actually see you stepping into your light, not being afraid to be there. And you get a different feeling of support from yourself, from supporting yourself and doing the things that you actually pushing yourself to do, pushing yourself to do the things that you love to do. And I feel like that's like a stacking, the 333. Even looking at the triangle being the symbol on the card is like the energy of like a stronger bond, a more connected, So self-expression is what this card is all about, and creative potential. What is your, creative potential? And I'm getting the energy like you are really good at one thing, of course, but imagine, if you allowed yourself to be freer and, things of that nature, how better you could be, letting go of any worry or anxiety of what other people who know you for one good thing that you do, letting go of what they would say if they knew that you were good at this or that or the other thing. And that's not to say that you have to bring the other things that you're good at. Okay, the live got cut at some point. I don't know when or where. I was just talking. I don't know what happened. But here's the rundown of these angel number cards. 413, which is the synergy card, is the one to, be very much in alignment with yourself. Don't get out of alignment with yourself. That's my fault for YouTube and phones and all of the games. But yes, this card 413 is all about, synergy, camaraderie, being there for yourself, being there for friends, being in support of yourself and your dreams, how you would be for one of your greatest friends, let's say, and creating something greater than yourself, creating something that's bigger than yourself, even detaching it from yourself so that you're not entangling who you are with what you do, even if you do it very well. And also building support through your networks and just community growth, and deepening whatever connections and that you already have, And not just connections with the other world, like people on the outside world, but connections that you have with yourself, connections that connections of things that you learned from here and there, and to bringing your full self to whatever you are learning today, right? Nothing to be afraid of. That energy of staying the course is what the 202 is all about. You know, searching within yourself, trusting that you can definitely achieve your highest and biggest dreams, and having that sense of determination that is unparalleled, unmatched to anything, just like that inner depth of like self-confidence that can't be touched by the world. And it's even about all that optimism that you can have in the face of any hard times, in the face of the death card, which is the card of changes, having that strength of not being scared, and knowing that your affirmation here is every problem that I incur has a solution. The 413, your affirmation is it will all work out better than I imagine. And I feel like that's why all of these cards are definitely in alignment with each other. Just letting you know that magic, the third one, 333 card, is the magic and miracles are coming your way. So with amazing sayings like this and having that in your mind and focusing in on the things that truly matter to you, you can not lose. If you always have a brain that is focused in on the positive aspects of anything that's going on in your life, that's always a W, right? So the 333 card is about self-expression, just like the Empress card is, and letting go of worries or anxieties and grabbing all of your opportunities by both hands, right? So I feel like I want to get one wisdom card. It's from the wisdom oracle deck. So okay, let me see. We got the 35, a loyal heart coming out. Or this way, if that's the way it's showing up. Again, YouTube is weird, so I can't tell on the phone, but yeah, no problem. So 35 is all about the loyal heart, that energy of, I feel like doing what's true to your heart, being loyal to yourself. I feel like it's also the double meaning of like two selves, two halves of one. But yeah, the essential meaning is definitely about loyalty, devotion. What are you devoted to in your life? And this is evidence that loyalty to yourself will be the things that, make others feel like they want to prove that they are faithful to you as well. So if you're not someone who is loyal to the things about yourself, or loyal to yourself, it'll be hard, obviously, for other people to remain faithful to you. Or if you're someone who breaks your promises to yourself, then of course it'll be easy to even forgive someone who also breaks their promises to you, which can lead to a whole host of low standards, which you don't want to open yourself up to, right? So it's that energy of you know your prosperity here is like your long-term loyalty to your goals, to yourself, is becoming evident in the world of conditions. So in order to do certain things, you must meet certain conditions. So whereas your aspirations for success and things of that nature assume form in reality, these things like success is finally taking shape in your reality, is what that all means. Like the conditions of the world is actually forming around the expectations that you by being loyal to yourself, by being loyal to your goals and things of that nature, loyal to your dreams, success is finally able to take shape in your life. So if you are loyal to your dreams and faithful to your plans while, you know, remaining flexible to change, obviously it's a death card came out, and, you know, being devoted to serving the world in some way with the world card coming out, you can obviously expect to receive that 333 energy of the Empress, which is abundance, of course. So, like I said, being devoted to helping others the way that, mind you, not in a toxic way, but it's like devoted to showing other people that showing up for yourself really counts. And people can really see that with how loyal you've been to yourself. Like showing up for workouts. That is such a commitment that, you know, other people see that commitment, see that loyalty that you have to yourself, and then they too want to follow in your footsteps of not being loyal to you and making you their, you know, God or whatever. But it's just about, you know, them wanting to be like, wow, I want that same amount of loyalty for myself that she's showing herself, which is necessary, right? And you will definitely be shown proof of your true prosperity. And, you know, this is a time to pay attention to yourself. You know, this is a time to, you know, focus on that never ending part of yourself where it's a joyful celebration and you're manifesting what you desire. You're coming to that point in your life where you're being stubborn about your commitment to yourself. So stay committed, stay spiritual, and stay loyal to yourself. Until next time.